All right, so here we go with the story. Okay. So I was engaged. This is in a season of being engaged. Um, and as I mentioned in my part one, me and my fiance were both, fine with each other having friends of the opposite sex. Okay, so I was working. I was not looking for a new friend or nothing like that. But I think people read my energy, my spirit a lot, and see that I'm somebody who is kind of easy to get along with, I would say. Um, yeah. So I think that attracts people, all kinds of people, people who I should have in my life that are good for me, and people who are not, and they just want my energy. So in saying that, there was a security guard that worked at where I worked. He hadn't worked there for very long. He was kind of quiet, and I didn't used to see him talk to many people, but I would see him multiple times a day, whether he was just, checking doors, whether he was just patrolling the area, whatever. And I'm a speaker. I speak to everybody. I speak to strangers in the grocery store, especially like if it's just us two walking in the aisle together. I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna just say hi. I'm gonna say good morning. I'm just like that. Okay. So it was just us two in a hallway walking past each other. I don't do that little awkward stuff. Like, you see me, I see you. We know each other's presence. Like, I'm gonna acknowledge your presence. I'm going to do that because I think it's rude not to. Especially, like, it's one thing if we're just, two strangers passing by. We ain't gonna see each other no more. We work here. We're gonna see each other every day. So I spoke. This was the first time that we had been like just us two in the same area by ourselves. So it was like I had to speak. Not that I didn't want to speak anyway, because like I said, I speak to everybody. But the situation, okay, I'm just painting a picture. So I spoke to him that day, and he had smiled and spoke back. I don't think I had seen him smile before. Like I said, he was a security guard, so like he just seemed like very serious all the time. And then like I noticed that he had smiled. I was just like, to myself, like, oh, he smiled. Like he had a nice smile. I'm just saying that for the sake of y'all, but again, to paint more of a picture. But it's not to say that I was like attracted to him. You can find somebody attractive and understand compliments about them. Oh, that person has nice eyes. That person has a good stature. Like all of that, I just noticed it. It does not mean that I was just like, ooh, he got a nice smile. Like, no. So so anyway, so apparently that broke the ice for him. And from that point on, every time he would see me, like it wasn't that Mima that I was used to seeing him like as he was just walking around. I felt like he felt like, okay, it was a safe place to be social. So so it went from speaking to like, it may be like a joke cracked in passing, eventually we just started hanging out around the job, like kikiing around the job, and which was okay because it wasn't anything foreign. It wasn't anything unusual for that to happen with me and any other of my coworkers that I was cool with, which was mostly everybody. So again, these are friends, these are coworkers. I'm cool with, like, we don't have no problems. So if it's me and another coworker and a conversation gets sparked up, I'm gonna just stay there and talk with them. I ain't got nothing else to do. So it was like that. So he was cool and we became cool with each other, and we followed each other on social media. Sometimes during like breaks and stuff, we would just again sit around kikiing. Like, it was okay for him to stop by on a break, and it wouldn't just be just the two of us. But I mean, obviously knowing that he stopped by where I was, because like intentionally he went in there to sit and talk, and it was cool. So when did it become uncool? Because at some point it became uncool. So for the job that I used to work, we were coming to an end of a term and we were about to go on a break. And y'all, do not judge me, okay? Like I said, I put everybody on the same playing field, and I have control over my own self and actions. And when I know I need to put a boundary up, I do. But everything was just cool and platonic, okay? Did I think he was attracted to me? I'm an attractive girl. Like, I know that. I can't say that other people in my building were not attracted to me. Does that mean that I'm just gonna have to, like, I don't have to hold up a rosary to protect myself from these people? Like, Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know whether I just went through all of that disclaimer because I feel guilty, but don't judge me, okay? We did exchange phone numbers. So other than us being like connected on social media, because like I feel like we friends now for real. Like work friends. You know, that's not the same thing as friends. But do other coworkers have my phone number? Yes. Okay. So I was getting ready to start a new position or a new assignment that was getting ready to start that I needed training for. So day one of training, there was another coworker, a male coworker, who was also in this training class with me, and as well as another female coworker. So like that, I was cool with both of them. Like both of us had the capacity. Like we were also connected on social media. Both of us had the capacity to speak with each other outside of work. Like those are my coworker friends. We were cool. So when I got out of my training, and like me and you know the guy, I'm gonna call him K. Me and K, the guy I've been talking about. So me and Kay were just talking about, what happened that day. And I was like, yeah, I was in a training with such and such, the guy and then the girl. And, telling him that they was at the training too. And we didn't even really do much in the training. We was just talking and laughing all the time. That's like what I was talking about. When I tell you, Kay got so mad. Mad. This was years ago, so I don't remember exactly all of the fine details. But I do remember it involved him, like, we were on a phone call. It involved him getting off the phone with me abruptly. I'm just like, okay. What was that? That was weird. So, usually when people, like, storm off the phone with you, they still got stuff to say. They might text you to finish whatever thoughts they had because they mad at something, right? So I get a text a little while later. He's just cussing me out. Okay? Cussing me out. When I tell you all of this is coming left field, he has never, like, we just been cool. He's never raised his voice to me. He's never cussed at me. Like, he cusses, but he's when you cuss at somebody, it's usually an expression of frustration towards them. He's never done that before. He had never shown any aggression towards me or said anything like left towards me. But he was saying everything. He went from never saying anything to saying absolutely everything. Reading me for fifth. Calling me a hose. Like, why are you calling me a hose? What? Like, what? Y'all, completely unorthodox. I was just like, so I'm like shutting this down. Like in real life, what makes you think you can talk to me like that? Who did you mistake me for when you started talking to me like this? And why do you feel the need to be expressing so much anger to me? What did I do to you? It was because I had told him that I was with the guy coworker all day at this training. And I tried him by telling him that. Well, I'm sorry. Just like you are my coworker and I work in a place with you, that's also my coworker and I work at a place with him, and that's all either one of y'all are. So when did you get this whole possessive feeling over me? I don't know. I got a whole fiance that I'm doing way more than just spending time with him at a training and laughing and kicking. Like, the nerve of you to have any type of feelings right now about anything that I just said to you. Like, that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. So, like, there was some going back and forth. I was still in that. I wasn't healed from that yet. I have gone through my deliverance from that. But, like, at first, it was, me shutting down and then me not engaging. But then, when he was spiraling, it triggered me and I started spiraling back. So, like, now I'm like, you don't think you finna fix yourself to talk to me like this? Like, so, like, now I'm going off, trying to make him feel this big because what are you doing? And why do you feel like you get to disrespect me? So, I said one thing. What did he say to me? He was like, I guess what JT Money said was true. And I already knew what he was talking about. I said, what JT Money said? If you don't know, go look up JT Money songs. And when you find one song, which will probably be the first thing on your streaming service, you'll know what he was talking about. But he said it. And then I like that was the last thing he could say to me. I just blocked him on everything. Blocked him on everything. So what I did know was that with me starting with this new program, I wasn't going to have to see him at work. But when that was over, I would have to see him again a few months later. But I was just like, okay, he blocked on everything. Like, it's not like this man could pop up in my house. Like, it's hell no I stay. Like, I don't have to see him or hear from him until like I got a 3-month break. And by the 3 months, hopefully like the picture will be clear. Like, we not cool no more. So don't even say nothing to me. By the time that 3 months was over. Just side note, before the 3 months was over, he had already tried to contact me from a I don't want to call it a fake page. It was a second page on a social media site. Another page he tried to contact me from. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't like just trying to be just so apologetic about what happened. Like, and I promise y'all with these details, I'm not leaving nothing like huge out. I'm not leaving out nothing like nah, there has to be more to like, no. This man had lost his marbles. Like, so he was being so apologetic. I'm such a good person. He should have never did that. He should have never talked to me like that. He should never, like, I just didn't respond when he tried to inbox me with that. So like, okay, after program was over, I'm back to my regular. I'm having to see him again at work. I'm just acting like I don't see him. Like, I'm just going to just go on about my day. Like you should already know, don't even say nothing to me. That is not how this went. That is not how this went. I feel like the first day or two, it was okay. He figured like, okay, she don't want to talk, we're not cool no more. Okay, fine. But after a while, it started catching up with him. And when I tell you one time I had left out of my office, doors locked always. I left out of my office one day. I came back in my office and there was a note sitting there for me. This ain't cute. I'm spooked. Of course, he's security. He has a key. He can get in. Okay. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to be doing that, John. Like, another time, all the lights off in my office. By the time I came back, this Negro is sitting in my spinny chair. He's sitting in my chair. Was just sitting there in the dark, waiting on me to come back in there so that we could talk. Mind you, I didn't ever tell my fiance none of this. He would have lost his marbles too. I would have been dealing with 2 people with lost marbles. Like, okay. Lord, thank you, God. It's the way God answers prayers. But anyway, so let's see. It was a time that he left me a note. It was a time that he was there to talk because I wouldn't talk to him. I was ignoring him. So he decides to wait till I leave, go in there in the dark, sit in my chair at my desk, and then by the time I come back, he's ambushing me with a conversation. Like, I made it very clear. Like, at that point, I'm like, no, you can't do this. Don't come back in my room no more. Like, no, we're not friends anymore. It's done. We don't need to talk about nothing. And what's even worse about this, see, I don't know if this is true, but one of my friends, my actual friends that work there, like somebody I had made an actual friendship with, not just a coworker friend, like we became friends. I'm telling her about all this because I didn't want to say nothing to nobody because he was acting unhinged. So like, I don't know if this is true to this day, but she told me that he was actually my boss's nephew, and that's how he even got the job. So, because at this point, like, I want to tell my boss, like, but now I feel like I can't tell my boss. Her nephew, again, I don't know if it's true. Because her thing was just like, yeah, they don't say nothing about it because they don't want anybody to think that there's any type of, workplace favoritism going on or that he would be treated differently because he's the nephew. So don't nobody know that's his nephew. But she knew. I was just like, oh my gosh. So I went to God. Everything got to turn back to God. This thing was getting out of hand, and I didn't want to be uncomfortable at work no more. And just like, I don't know what happened. Thank you, God. I don't know what happened, no, but I'll say maybe about 2 weeks later, he was removed from our building. I still don't know what happened. I know that something occurred where there was some type of altercation or something And because one thing about it, like, as you can see, he has a hot temper, and that's something that I already knew because when we were friends, he was telling me stories about how he had to go off on this person or like what happened with this person, that person. So something happened and he got removed from the building, so I didn't have to worry about him anymore. But even after he was removed, he came back one more time. I was walking through the parking lot, and I acted like I didn't see him. And this is after he was removed from the building, and he called me. He called my name. And I turned to him. And I shook my head no. And I kept walking. And I went in that building as fast as I possibly could. That was the last time I seen this man. 2019. I don't know what God did, but I'm just saying thank you, buddy. And it was that day that I decided not to be friends with no more coworkers. Not to be friends with no more coworkers, baby, especially if they are men's, okay? These men folks, like, it was over. Y'all be careful with them people in your workplace, okay? And y'all be careful with them friendships of the opposite sex, especially if you are working towards marriage or if you're in a marriage. I watched too much divorce court for this, okay? I know better, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for listening to my story.
I love you all. To get deeper into this bubbly life with Shay's champagne encouragement, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's poppin'.